Welcome to my subject Morphology and Syntax. Our course code is English 262 and it's our lecture number 17. Today we are talking about sentence and its kinds. The outlines of today's lecture are, first of all, we will talk about sentence. What is a sentence? Its parts, subject and predicate, sentence patterns, expanding sentences, its kinds. First of all, what is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. A sentence expresses a complete thought. Simply, we can say that a sentence is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, a subject and a predicate. Subject and predicate are the two essential parts of a sentence. Sentence is a set of words that is complete in itself, typically containing a subject and a predicate, conveying a statement, question, exclamation, or command, and consisting of a main clause and sometimes one or more subordinate clauses. For example, they are having fun, or all the children are in school uniform. What is a subject? First of all, a subject is something or someone that does something. Or in a sentence, first of all, we give name to someone or something. For example, here, the one in colored, Ahmad studied the lesson. Here, Ahmad is the subject. We have given name to someone, and that is Ahmad. The girl is eating an apple. It's a sentence where the colored words are the subject. The cat chased the rat. Here, the cat, noun with an article, is the subject of the sentence. Or something or someone that the sentence describes or renames. For example, Hassan is a good doctor. Hassan here is the subject of the sentence. Ali is a clever student. Here, Ali is the subject of the verb is. This car is very expensive. This car here is the subject of the verb is. So the subject is the part of a sentence where we give name to someone or something. All the nouns are the subjects. Here, Ahmad, the girl, Hassan, Ali, in this car are the subjects of these sentences. Now, what is a predicate? Predicate are the verb part of a sentence. Predicate is the part of the sentence other than the subject. It must contain a verb, subject in predicate. Here we are having the examples where a thief stole the car. A thief here is the subject of the verb stole the car. His brother is a teacher. So predicate is the part of a sentence where we talk about the subject. A thief. Which kind of a thief? Or who is a thief? Who steals? A thief. So the verb steals describes a thief. His brother is a teacher. Here verb is describes his brother. The rain has been falling steadily. Here, has been falling steadily is the predicate of the subject, the rain. Ahmad will be coming soon. Will be coming soon is the predicate of the subject Ahmad. So predicate is the part of a sentence where we talk about the subject. Here, a thief stole the car. His brother is a teacher. The rain has been falling steadily. Ahmad will be coming soon. In the train left 5 minutes ago. Now, sentence patterns. How sentences are being formed. Someone or something, the subject. The door of an action. Subject, the door of an action. Verb does something. An action word. Here, Ali slept. We will be waiting. The train has left. The sun is disappearing. The glass is broken. Now here, Ali is the subject followed by a verb. So a typical sentence of English language, that is subject, verb and object. Sometimes we are having sentences without an object. Here, Ali followed by a verb slept. The meaning is complete. We will be waiting. We followed by a verb will be waiting. The train has left. In. So the sentence goes with the structure of subject and verb. Next pattern is subject, verb and object. A typical English language sentence where subject is followed by a verb and verb followed by an object. Subject is the door of an action, verb is action itself, and object the receiver of an action. That is a typical sentence structure of English language. But we as second language speakers, second language learners, we are not supposed to apply the same structure on other languages. For example, we are studying, we are speaking, we are reading Pashto. We are the native speakers of Pashto language. We use Urdu language. We use Arabic language. All these four languages carry different sentence structure. For example, if I say, Ahmad ate an apple. So Ahmad followed by a verb, verb followed by an object. Ahmad is the door of an action, ate is action itself, and apple is the receiver of an action. If we apply the same rules on Pashto language, so that will vary. For example, I can give you an example of Arabic, like وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ. وَإِذْ قَالَ. So qala is an action word. So it is a verb followed by a subject, subject followed by an object. So VSO, that English language SVO, Arabic language verb, subject and object, VSO. Pashto, Oil Musa Khpal Qawmta. So sentence starts with a verb followed by a subject, subject followed by an object. The same structure, it varies even in Urdu language. Musa ne apni qawm se kaha. So Musa starts with a subject followed by an object, SOV, followed by the subject of the sentence. So here, subject, verb and object. Ali studied the lesson. A thief stole the car. Dr. Awais has finished his book. Dr. Ovis is the subject, has finished is the verb, his book is the object of the sentence. She wrote a poem. The next, that is subject, verb, object, indirect object, indirect object. When the verb takes two objects, sometimes it takes one, sometimes it doesn't take an object, sometimes it takes two. So when the verb takes two objects, the first object is called the indirect object and the second is the direct object. OI is indirect object and the second, the OD, is the direct object. For example, Kamil gave his sister a gift. So Kamil is the subject, gave is the verb, his sister is the indirect object, and a gift is the direct object. So sentence structure goes with SVOI, indirect object, NOD, direct object. The teacher asked him a question. So the teacher is the subject, asked is the verb, him is the indirect object of this verb asked, and a question is the direct object. Subject-verb-complement, subject followed by lexical verb, LV, lexical verb followed by a complement. In sentences that tell what someone or something is or looks like. For example, the complement describes or renames the subject. Here, Amir is my brother. My brother is a complement about the subject Amir. This is our professor. These books look new. New describes the subject, these books. The manager seems efficient. Efficient describes the subject, the manager. My friend became a teacher is a teacher describes the subject, which is a complement. This house looks old. So old describes this house. An object or a complement. For example, Javed is a doctor. Ali visited the doctor. So Javed is the doctor and a doctor is a complement about the subject. Ali visited the doctor, so Ali is the subject and the doctor, which is referring to someone. So a doctor is a complement and Ali visited the doctor, that is the object of the sentence. Subject, verb, object and object complement SVO-C. A complement after the object describes or renames it. For example, they painted the house white. They painted the house white. So here they painted the house white, which is a complement of the object the house. She named her cat Lucy. The object, the direct object Lucy describes, gives a complement to the indirect object. Dina considered the book great. So here the book is the indirect object and great, which is the direct object, which goes as a complement to the book. They elected him president. Him is a complement. President is a complement of him. Now we can summarize this sentence pattern as the first one. It goes with subject and verb, like the train left. The train is the subject and left is the object. Second, we talked about subject, verb, object, like Samir wrote a poem. Samir is the subject, wrote is the verb, and a poem is the object of the sentence. SVO O. Subject, verb, indirect object, like she sent me a letter. He sent me a letter. They sent me a letter. So here, she, subject, sent is the verb, me is indirect object, and a letter, which is the direct object of the verb sent. Subject-verb-complement, my uncle is a teacher. So here a teacher is the complement, is the verb, and my uncle is the subject. Subject-verb-object complement in object. He considered the book meaningless. So he, the subject, considered verb, the book is the object, and meaningless is the complement object. How do we expand sentences? Sentences can be expanded to give more information by one of the following, is we have divided that in three. Is sometime it goes with a single word, sometime it goes with phrases, and sometime we combine clauses. We add single words to make sentences, to expand sentences, like the student answered the question. This is the sentence. Now we add a single word as the clever student answered the difficult questions. The clever student answered the difficult question quickly. A single word we add. Yesterday, the clever student answered the extremely difficult question very quickly. Sometimes we add phrases to make sentences. We expand sentences. A phrase, as we talked about phrase in its kinds in the previous lecture, a phrase is a group of words that does not have a finite verb. For example, in the morning, in the clever student, on the table, before dinner, to me, last week, to tell him to study hard, being a citizen, arriving early, to study hard, to tell the truth, respecting your parents, all of a sudden, without delay, for a while, once upon a time. These are some of the phrases we add it to other words to form sentences, and we expand our common sentences through phrases. For example, expand. How do we expand sentence? By a phrase, my friend arrives. This is a sentence. We add, my best friend arrives tomorrow. Best is a single word. Tomorrow is a single word. Now, how do we add phrases like, to my surprise, my best friend from Jeddah arrives tomorrow at the airport at 7 o'clock. Here, single word best is a single word, tomorrow is a single word. In phrases, from Jeddah, to my surprise, at the airport at 7 o'clock are the phrases we add to a sentence to expand it. Combining clauses. A clause is a group of words containing a subject and a verb, subject and a predicate, or it is a part of a sentence that carries a subject and a predicate. For example, the bus arrived is a clause. The teacher asked me a question. This car is great. She is working hard. These are some of the clauses. She is working hard because he succeeded when Ahmed saw me after they left the store, since the computer is not working. Now, these are the examples where we are having the highlighted words because, when, after, in, since, which are dependent or subordinate conjunctions that can give us dependent clauses. What is dependent and what is independent clause. Independent clause is the one that can stand alone, like the question is difficult. Sarah is drawing a picture. The teacher explained the lesson. Dependent clauses are subordinate clauses, the one that cannot stand alone in sentences because they start with certain words called subordinating words or subordinating conjunctions. When they told me, although she knows, while he was doing her homework. So when is a subordinate conjunction, although is a subordinate conjunction, while is a subordinate conjunction, because is a subordinate conjunction. So all the dependent clauses start with a subordinate conjunction. Some of the subordinating words are subordinating conjunctions. We have although, after, before, while, whereas, since, if, unless, which, that, who, whom, whose, because, until, and when are some of the subordinate conjunctions. When a sentence or a clause starts with one of these subordinate conjunctions, that is a dependent clause. How do we expand sentence by adding a clause? Like, my friend arrives tomorrow. My friend who lives in Cairo arrives tomorrow. So here, who lives in Cairo is a complete clause to give us an expanded sentence. The student answered the question. Now, the student who is sitting beside the window answered the question. Who is sitting beside the window is a clause. The student who is sitting beside the window answered the question that the teacher asked. She succeeded. She succeeded because she studied hard. So all of these, who lives in Cairo, who is sitting beside the window, who is sitting beside the window, answered the question that the teacher asked because she studied hard, are the examples of subordinate conjunctions that give us dependent clauses. Now, sentence kinds. There are 5 kinds of sentences. Number first, declarative sentence, imperative sentence, exclamatory sentence, interrogative sentence, and optative sentence. A declarative sentence is the one that states a fact and ends with a full stop. It is so called because it states or declares something. We can call it statement sentence, a sentence where we can make a statement about someone or something. It is also known as a statement sentence. It is punctuated by a period, full stop. For example, the dog in the neighbor's yard is barking. So here we are making a statement about a neighbor's dog. Any statement that is positive and not negative is known as affirmative or assertive sentence. For example, Ali has completed his work. An imperative sentence is a command, simply a polite request or an entreaty. It ends with an exclamation mark or sometime a full stop, depending on the way the sentence is spoken. Usually, the subject is hidden in an imperative sentence. For example, close the door. So, sentence starts with a verb, close the door. But here is, if we think about the sentence, so sentence that carries a subject and a predicate, but here you can raise a question that where is the subject. So here we are having a second person you, understood subject is there, it ends in a period is here, close the door is a command. We can use it a sometime we are making polite request, please be quiet, is an example of imperative sentence. Exclamatory sentence expresses great emotion or excitement. Sentence that expresses excitement, strong feelings, or emotions, it ends with an exclamatory mark. Exclamatory words are words that generate a strong emotional response. For example, we are having exclamatory words along with exclamatory marks in exclamatory sentences is wow. We are having a word wow, awesome, alas, horror, for surprise, for happiness, for sorrows. We use the house is on fire. So here the whole sentence is exclamatory. Interrogative sentence is the one that asks a question and ends with a question mark. For example, is it raining? Do we play tennis? Did they play chess? Have you played your part in the play? Optative sentences the sentence which expresses a prayer, keen wish, curse, etc. is called an optative sentence. This kind of sentence generally starts with may and wish. Sometimes may remains hidden, like may the king of Westeros live long. Long live the king of Westeros. We don't have a may here. May you too live long enough to see your grandchildren. May God bless us all. May you become successful enough to buy love. May the Almighty help in this tragedy. Wish you a very successful married life. Wish you a happy journey together. May your team win the match. I hope you understood. And you got the essence of sentence and its kinds. Good luck. God bless you all.